Hey, and welcome back to my channel. It's Ashleigh here, and today I am going to be sharing a fun Cricut craft that you can do, a very good gifting idea, and I'm going to be showing you how to simply wood burn something. So this video is sponsored today by Cricut, and I am going to be using my Cricut Joy for this DIY today. And for those of you who do not know what a Cricut is, it is an awesome smart cutting machine, and it gives you a way to create a lot of personalized projects, and it comes with a cool software that I'm going to be showing you how to use today, which is Design Space. So let's go ahead and start with this project. Okay, so first things first, I took my wood pieces that I'm gonna be using, so the tray and the tops for those containers, and I'm just measuring those before I get into Design Space. So now here, this is Design Space, and you can create a lot of things in Design Space, but I'm going to be doing the charcuterie board, just a little mini one. So I'm just typing that into my images here, and then these are the ones that popped up. So I had one that was saved that I already liked, so I'm just going to bring that into my canvas. So once I get this into my canvas, I'm just going to show you guys really quick how you can slice things and change how something looks. Like, let's say I like the words on this, but I'm not really interested in the images. I'm going to show you how you can separate them. So as you can see, I brought in this shape, and I'm just going to take this shape and my image, and I'm going to slice these together. So slice them together. So I'm going to slice it. So basically, you just take an image and you overlap that image, and then you're going to select everything and hit that slice button. So I'm going to do that for the peanuts that are at the top here, because I just want to keep this nice and simple. So I'm going to lay that over my image. I'm going to come in, slice it, and then I'm going to remove that from my image. And now it just says something nutty. Nice and simple. So now I'm going to go into my shapes, and I'm going to pick my circle. And then, since I already got my measurements, I'm going to type those measurements at the top. And this is just basically going to be like a template, so I'll know how large my image should be when I cut this out on my machine. So then again, I'm just going to show this one more time. You just select whatever image. I normally just use like a square. And then I'm going to place that on top of whatever image it is. I'm going to select both of those images, and then I'm just going to hit the slice button. It'll slice it, and then you can remove whatever you don't want from the image. So after I did that, I then duplicated the circle, and I took my measurement for the larger circle, placed that in, and again, I'm going to use that as my template for the something crispy, so I can make sure that it will be the appropriate size on top of the lid. Now after I got my lids done, I'm just going to come in and I'm going to start to work on the image that I'm going to use for my tray. So I just typed in cheese and wine, and I saw this cute little saying, so this is what I'm going to use. I'm going to bring it into my canvas. Again, I'm going to show you how you can just slice, very easy. So I'm just going to remove all of the images that I don't want. So I'm taking the wine glass away and the cheese at the bottom. And then since I knew that my tray is a little bit longer, it's an oval shape and not like a circle, I just went ahead and I sliced the I'll cut the cheese part, and I'm just going to bring that on the right side of the you pour the wine part. Another thing that you could do is, if you don't like the spacing, so the cheese is a little bit farther down than I would like it to be, I'm just gonna again come in here, slice the cheese part, and then I'll be able to move that word up and down and make sure that it looks nice and good. So I did that same thing with the wine by slicing it and putting them where they would look appropriate. Well, not appropriate, but look just a little bit better because it's down just a little bit farther than what it was. And then now I am going to create a line in the middle. So I just made a little line in the middle, and then I'm going to select everything, and I am going to weld it all together. So then now I'll be able to just move this around, and there won't be individual images. Okay, so now I'm going to turn this into like a stencil so that I'll be able to place this on top. So I just took another image, and I am going to add this to the back, and then I'm just going to take everything and I'm going to slice this, and this is going to slice out my image, and then I'll have the negative space for creating that stencil. So honestly, I'm just going to show you how to create a stencil right now, because honestly, you do not have to do this whole part that I'm about to show, which attaching the words and stuff like that. This is something that you would do if you're doing like the transfers on like a like you're doing an outdoor rug or something like that. But anyways, I'm just gonna be connecting all of the all of the spaces that aren't connected. So like the O isn't connected, none of the O's are connected, or like in the E for cheese, those aren't connected. So I'm just literally going to be taking lines and connecting these all. But honestly, you do not have to do this part. You can just make this stencil like I did here and get your Cricut to cut out this portion and then transfer it on to whatever it is you're using. But if you're doing it the other way that I said, it's nice to attach everything together and place it onto whatever rug that you're using. And I can honestly, I'm gonna link the video that I'm talking about where I showed how to do this and stencil onto the rug. So anyways, you can definitely skip this part. So I then made the lines, I welded this all together, and then I just select make it so that this can be cut out on my Joy. And then I'm going to be cutting this out without the mat, so I just chose without the mat. And then I made sure that this was within the red lines, and then I let my Joy cut this out. And I also did this same thing for the circle images too, but I'm not gonna show that part because honestly, like I said, you can skip this step. So after my Cricut cut out my images, now I'm just weeding everything out. Like I said, so see, this is already technically like a stencil. So I did not have to do what I did, because after I weeded all of this out, I could have just took my transfer tape, added the transfer tape on top, and then transferred this onto my wood, but I wasn't thinking. So yes, weed everything out, and then after you do that, you're gonna start to place your images onto whatever piece of wood you're using. So I did that same thing with my circle tops. I just added my images on there, and now we're ready for the next step. All right, so now I'm gonna start to create the mixture that I'm gonna need for the wood burning part. So you're gonna need a half a cup of hot water. You're gonna also need some ammonium chloride, and I did 1 tablespoon of that. And then you're also gonna need some food thickener, and I did 8 teaspoons of that, and you're gonna mix all of this together. So I saw 2 videos, and I'm gonna link those down below on how you can do this. And this is so much better than using like those wood burn pens and all that other stuff. This is just so easy, oh my gosh. So you really have to try this. So anyways, once you start to mix this all together, it's gonna get nice and thick, and then that's how you're gonna know that it's ready for you to put it on your wood piece. Before I did that though, I'm just gonna take my brayer, and I'm just going to make sure that this is nice and secure on my piece. And then I am going to start to paint the mixture onto those negative spaced areas. And I honestly did this twice. You probably would be fine with doing one, especially if you're doing raw wood, but this piece had like, I think it was already kind of sealed a little bit. So they did recommend to do this on raw wood. So I was a little nervous about that, but it still did work, guys. So just do a little extra 2 coats or something like that, and an extra actually I think I did half a tablespoon of ammonium chloride. So once you finish brushing this on, you're gonna let it dry, and then you're gonna be ready for it to be burned. So once it is dry, it's gonna have like this glue. It was like glue. You know how when your glue dries, that's what it kind of looks like. So then you're gonna know that it's ready. So now I'm just going to be peeling off my little stencil that I made. So once you remove your design, you can actually see it, which is pretty cool. So now I'm just going to take my heat gun, and I'm gonna start to heat this up. To be completely honest, when I started to do this, I was like, oh my gosh, this is not working. This is not gonna work. So I kind of had to go away from this for a while, and then I came back, and I actually put my heat gun on the heavier setting. I don't know, it's like 2 settings on this, and it eventually started to show the wood burn part, but I was like, oh my god, this is not working. So one thing you're gonna wanna do when you are doing this is just always continuously move your heat gun, because if you have it in one area for too long, you can actually burn a piece of the wood that you don't wanna burn. So yeah, so move this around. And then also too, if you are using like tops like this or something, and the wood could be sealed just a little bit, maybe with some Mod Podge or something, so you won't have any like bleed through, because the tops of these had some bleed through, but for like the tray, it was just nice and clean. If you do end up burning some areas, one thing you can do is just kind of sand those areas off, and then it will remove the parts that were burned. Also, another thing you can do is, which I started to do, was I started to burn the edges of my tray because I had burned a spot over here on the left hand side, as you can see. So just to kind of match it, I just went ahead and started to burn around my tray. So those are two options that if you do kind of mess up, you can either sand it off or just start to just burn the rest of your wood. And that's it. That's all you have to do to create an awesome wood burn project using your Cricut machine. So I love how this turned out. It is so cute and it was so easy to make. You find your design on Design Space, cut it out on your Cricut, and then burn on whatever you want. These are cute gifts that you can give to people, things you can sell. So I just love this. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you give it a big thumbs up. Make sure you comment down below to let me know what you think. If you aren't subscribed to my channel, make sure you click on that subscribe button and you hit that notification bell so you'll always be up to date with my latest tutorials, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye.